Michael, I don't care how you are because the game's about to start, and we've got to talk about that instead, Michael. So you and your feelings can go back home.
Well, okay. Well, I see how you prioritize things there. I guess we have to keep it all business. Fine, whatever, man. Checkmate started on the CT side of things. Of course, it's Invictus' pick coming into the series, and already a bit of an unorthodox stack over towards this B bomb site. Not exactly getting aggressive, but they just kind of hold towards top B. Now they do move in from behind. Blitz sneaking right behind Destroyer. The rest of the squad are over towards the apartments. They have control of that, and they're going to pick up the pace towards that A site.
Viva's good for one. Coolest and Hastica trading away, and they're making everything work out. Where the teams wanted to regain control over mid, instead they lose it all. If that would have been a quick rush onto the A bomb site, they would have only had one player to deal with. Maybe you can take him down, but they say, you know what? Why not fight the enemy you know rather than look for 3 more on the bomb site? Turns out, Michael, they didn't know there were 3 enemies over back in mid. So, hey, what does Sun Tzu know?
Once again, we feel it seems as though we are graced with the phantom of the server. Ignore that little undefined guy. Don't know where he's off to. Yeah, solid round all in all from Checkmate. They go for this idea at the start of the round, and after they meet very minimal resistance, they just get a little bit aggressive, and Invictus aren't prepared for it. Bomb is in T-spawn, and I do mean in T-spawn, not the T-steps where it's, you know, frequently dropped to kind of feel things out. Somebody's gonna have
Michael, trust me, everyone knows when they see the bomb in T-spawn, okay? I know we all watch a lot of Pro Counter-Strike over here, but
it just doesn't usually happen. And so, yeah, I think Unicorn's been instructed to go pick it up. Coach before doing the dirty work, I suppose. The rest of the squad didn't want it. And Bartok actually getting spammed through the wall there by the Deeg. Down to 75. He's actually taking the most amount of damage, but enough to rattle him out of the spot.
In all fairness, Michael, we also have to keep in mind with how many times we've seen a mismanagement of the bomb, maybe it is just safer to leave it in spawn. Just make sure that it doesn't die randomly.
Yeah, that could have been part of the call.
2 players over towards the B bomb side have really huddled up. It's Hastica and Techno. Techno is doing all right in the previous map, not his best performance by any stretch, but had a couple of standout moments, and he's hoping to stand out from the crowd here and maybe even just kill the crowd that's coming over, because there's a lot of terrorists over towards Banana. Flashes and smokes raining through. No Molotovs means that it should be a mowdown for the CT side, but they're not peeking in soon. Instead, letting them push through. Techno's been good for one so far. Doubles up before being traded, and Hastica can't find anything. So although it's a 3v3, the guns being recovered makes it a little bit more difficult for the CT side to be able to recover, and they're trying to take deals early on. Pushing through the smoke, it's coolest to move forward. Not able to isolate out the first in Emo, and he's been forced into Hobbit instead. Waiting for the player from Graveyard, but it's Blitz to cover his back. Unicorn will fall as well. Destroyer to go down with him, and it should be an easy bomb defuse, recovering whatever rifles they can in the meanwhile.
Yeah, picking up the rifles. I think there was a kid at the back of the bomb site, I believe at dark, so it is not communicated over. Blitz does not go and retrieve that, but no problems here from Checkmate, in spite of the fact that, you know, Techno does a pretty decent job finding those 2 kills. If Hastica was able to kind of pick up the rest of them, things wouldn't have gone into that spot, but Invictus are probably going to be happy with how much damage they did in that round. You can see them buying into it immediately off of that bomb plant. So there's Galil's kicking around, but what's a Galil to an M4? Not too much of a difference. A hell of a lot cheaper, that's for sure. Maybe easier to spray control, whatever.
I was really hoping you'd launch into like a full, you know, Nerd Church in the Wild sort of, you know, lyricism, you know, what's a Galil to M4?
Yeah, I'm not prepared for my musical number. I haven't really practiced for that one.
What's economy to a terrorist side? I'm not prepared for any musical performances in general, Michael. But
yeah.
Hey, I'll write the lyrics for you. You can sing them out right now. Invictus, however, are singing out as well. They're singing out a cry for help because they're going to need it. Blitz around the corner in the arches is trying to get a quick off angle, going aggressively forward, but he can't find the damage. Rather, he can't find the kills. He will find the damage. That's Destroyer to be tickled down to 47, rather 37. God, Mike, I'm terrible at reading.
You can see they're a little concerned with how much damage Blitz has taken over towards its arches. Hastica now looks to replace him. They may get a little bit thrown off by the fact, like, wait a second, didn't this guy have an AK? Why is this guy shooting at us with a FAMAS? And so Hastica won't reveal that just yet. They're leaving a lot on Techno to keep hold of that B bomb site.
Oh, he needs his frag. Destroy is going to be taken down. Techno peeks up, but it's Rage to trade. They should be able to get onto the bomb site in time, and with 2 smokes, including 1 picked up from Techno's corpse, they have an easy pathway forward. A man already pushed through, but he's pushed to his death. Unicorn to fall to Blitz. Try to get a bit sneaky, a bit aggressive, but right now, oh my goodness, CTs. Whew. Almost finding Rage through that smoke. A deep coffin smoke prioritized, interestingly enough. Not letting it be too shallow. They want Rage to be able to keep an eye out on the banana players, if there are any. Rage finds one before being traded. Flying's very low in a corner. Had a fantastic game in the previous one, but so far he's only found his first kill. IG, once again, a bomb plant is all they will have. And Checkmate will be able to take this one away. Kit on Coolest guarantees it.
Yeah, I think they were just hoping that Hastica could pick up a bit more utility there. I think he would have had it even if he stuck the 10-second defuse, but you know, he bought the kit, so reward Coolest. Why not? Wonder if he got an MVP as a result of that. But Checkmate, again, the B site has already seen 2 bomb plants down for Invictus. We end up in this spot where, you know, Checkmate only have 2 surviving players once again, so they haven't exactly been able to stabilize their money as of yet. But they're pretty comfortable making some of these gamble rotations. Usually when we see anchors over towards that banana position, you know, they're jump spotting, they're ready to fall back and run through the proceedings with their Molotovs and smokes and the like. But with Techno playing aggressive angles instead over towards B, it can be a vulnerability looking forward into this half that Invictus may exploit.
The double arches overhead is going to be very heavily reliant on Bartek's timings as he peeks in towards the apartments. They've already got 2 kills out of the end. Coolest is helping for another, and a no-scope will guarantee it. Arc can be recovered, but right now Destroyer and Rage would rather double up on the AKs and try and isolate out Bartek, who is still undefined in his position. And no, I don't mean that one that'll take over in the radar. I mean, they just don't know where he is.
Yeah, still sitting inside of, I think it's the graveyard, just waiting for his right opportunity to strike, and his teammates are looking to reinforce. Actually, it's in towards the pit where Techno is now coming on that rotation. Once again, trying to get that bomb into a position where it can be planted, but there's too many CTs all around.
Oh!
Rage! Oh my goodness! In an instant, it's headshot after headshot, and a big-time clutch for Invictus.
And finally, they're able to get one of these out. They were consistently getting onto the bomb site, plant down, but numbers were depleted. HP was depleted. They had no utility, and the B bomb site's never conducive to that. A's got all those different angles where he's able to isolate out duels, and he does so perfectly. IG finally able to get on the board. And now immediate timeout from Checkmate as well.
Yeah, that is not how they wanted that round to play out at all. Like, he's on the site. We know exactly where he is. We surrounded him. Somebody call an ambulance, but not for me. That's such a ridiculous round for Rage, and he plays it out almost like an aim map.
Checkmate, though, we've seen them pull out a lot of these force buy rounds over Industrial as well. Inferno, I would say, not entirely as conducive of being able to funnel players into stacks the same way. You know, Industrial, you've got that short position, which can be highly contested and a great rotation point to work off of as well.
Invictus haven't really been seeing too much resistance in the apartments either. They've done brackets a couple of rounds, only to re-aggress over towards Banana. It's not exactly abnormal to see that either. But with how vacant these apartments have been, you know, we're likely to see Invictus be a little bit more greedy with their utility in terms of how they work it. And at some point or another, changes will meet the CT side. But this is actually a great chance for Invictus to capitalize on all of that earlier damage. You can see that the upgraded pistols are all that Checkmate have brought into this round, and should they lose out on it, Invictus are very likely to end up in a tie game.
And just by virtue of chilling out early in, oh, that's a good smoke coming out. Viva makes sure that he throws out the CT smoke all the way from spawn, so Checkmate can't commit to a hard rotate over these plays. On the bomb side, needs to come up big, and they've come down quick. Can't get anything done, not a single frag to prevent IG from getting onto the bomb side, and Checkmate are going to circle back to B and try to save. Right now, for Invictus to attempt to hunt would be a massive mistake, unless it's Unicorn being thrown forward with the Mac-10. I don't mind that as much. Come on, Hersey, get us some money.
Yeah, come on. He's not exactly straying from the pack.
Do horses come in packs? I feel like horses don't come in packs, Michael.
I mean, there's probably like a herd.
If it's a herd, I mean, a pack is very like wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah? Horses are too nice to be in a pack.
Not that I've ever seen a herd of horses, but...
Have you not, really?
No. I mean, they're usually in stables, if I've ever seen them, but...
Okay, so you've never seen, like, wild horses?
No.
Well, they look very nice. Just, like, all of them running along. It's kind of scary as well, but it looks very nice.
Those things are muscly as hell.
It's true.
They walk up behind a horse.
Yeah.
On the hard way, just how muscly they are.
Oh, indeed. Checkmate, however. Turns out they've been skipping leg, arm, and most of all, gun day. They don't have much of that going around. Hastika, down and out. The one guy who'd been going to the gym for 2 months has already been knocked out, so everyone else is sort of nervously sweating around. Have you ever been to a fight, Michael, where one person is just really like, oh my god, I know, like, yeah, I'm trained and whatnot. The second he goes down, it's just terrifying for everyone else. What hope have we got?
Yeah, this guy trains meticulously to improve his...
For all of a month and a half.
Yeah, his strength, everything. Dietary restraints. I think that's the one that I'm most familiar with. That I used to know. Did a bit of MMA. But always complain that it's cutting down time.
Well, right now, no one's got any fight in them, or training for that matter, from Checkmate's side. Bartek's at least come up with a couple of punches, but I'll have to see if maybe he can get a gun for his troubles. I mean, he is just sort of floating around all over the place, and there should be one over in apartments if he realizes it. But we'll have to wait to see.
Yeah, in a fight, one side has to lose, and especially if it's heavyweight versus light, it's likely to go the heavyweight's favor. So Invictus with that full buy, able to make use of the additional pounds. Of course, coming from the UK, that has a double meaning, Could be money, could be weight. Not that I would encourage using the Imperial system.
Yeah, I was about to say,
whack.
coming from the UK, I feel like it couldn't be two meanings.
I mean, we still use stone in the UK.
I know, which is the most absurd thing.
It's it's so...
I thought, pounding stuff were bad enough. Stone has like 7 different definitions depending on where you're from as well.
That depends how heavy your stones are.
Well, I think we're about to find that out for Checkmate because they don't have much utility. Question is, are they going to start to aggress forward? Or are they going to have lighter stones and just stay back, chill out, say, you know what, you come to us and we'll take you down there. Techno's going to have a bit of extra money as well saved up, so maybe something to have a bit more padding, even if they do win out this round with very few numbers. IG's been excellent about maintaining numbers being going down, but hold the point because Viva spots out the first man moving in. Kudos flying in the meanwhile, and they actually get so much space before Blitz is traded out. Some good trades, but it is still Checkmate in a position to be able to potentially take down the bomb. I don't know if Invictus will be expecting the rotation out, especially with Techno going down. They might realize that the B bomb site is empty. He's been the one who's anchoring every single time over. And although Techno, I respect the play, they had the opportunity to take down the bomb planter. Now, Hasika, all alone.
And at some point, he's going to have to investigate himself because a 1-on-3 where you have no info is never ideal. Went towards the apartments, sat himself inside boiler, but little does he know, Viva's going over through the balcony and trying to give the old clear. This may lead them into a very weird spot where, because Viva's gotten this much room, they honestly may anticipate that this A site has no defenders left, because he has to moving around towards the end of the apartment, see if he can find an angle onto the site. Yeah, Invictus are moving back here with the bomb.
This could be a big moment for Hastika to come up and shine. They're not expecting him. They haven't checked this out just quite yet. Hastika's got the first. Do they have time to move back? They do. But will they be able to make their way over in time to prevent Hastika from getting a quick kill? Remember, they don't have a smoke out for CT. So Hastika's going to be there in time to drop the bomb. And if that goes down, the spacing means that it'll be very, very difficult. Hastika has a chance, and he's got it down and out with. Destroyer can't make his way over in time. He won't be able to pick up the bomb. And Hastika just straight up slays him. Checkmate, come out on top.
Hastika played 3 moves ahead of what Invictus had planned for the round. You know, they're trying to get aggressive over towards that A site, and I was kind of foreseeing this circumstance where that misinformation comes through, and Hastika just finds the perfect time to leap into action. I would almost expect him to play a little bit of trigger discipline had he realized what was coming his way. But you could see Invictus didn't want to really just straight up take that fight, and instead they fall right into the hands of Hastika. The timing on that rotation was absolutely perfect. Like you said, he didn't need to take the duel, but just decided to fight them anyway. That's a round they should have never won.
I've had about a few by now.
Yeah. But it's just, I mean, especially because Checkmate tried to change things up on that CT side. They got aggressive down middle. Yeah. You know, they're trying to get into the faces of Invictus, and they were punished for exactly that. But Invictus just play a kind of an overly cautious game, so they could try and play the 3-on-1. What is that from Flying? It's a perfect spam onto the boost, and so it's a free kill as a result. Flying's gotten another. All the meanwhile, Brackets is under heavy siege, and it's all by one man. Flying 3 kills in the round. They're trying to double up into this B site because Checkmate may think it's the safer side, but Invictus are headed that way.
And look, obviously, you know, Flying had a fantastic map before with Rage, who's the big one for this one so far. He's still alive and going. A quick adjustment from Viva will find Blitz, and Gulas is maybe even just going to back up and save this time over. He's got a bit of money as well in the tank, and there's some Gulas. There's no harm in backing off and not going for a 1v4, but it seems like he doesn't want any of that, Michael.
Yeah, he's sticking around. I don't think the player that died through the smoke had a kit either, so it's not as though there will be something to be recovered, you know?
I mean, maybe just waiting for a little while longer so that he can see if, you know, there's a safer point of exit rather than backing off at this stage where he knows that, okay, you know what, most of them are actually probably watching out for CT. He's even going to move forward, get a quick kill. Why not? That's actually important. You know, he's getting that $300 extra as well on top. And look, man, that might not seem like much, but that means he can drop a gun over right now if he wants to, or in the next round, he can buy an AWP if he'd like to. And, you know, we've seen how good he is on that as well so far. So that's a good shot to have on your player. Why not?
Yeah, a little cheeky. But yeah, like you're saying as well, just making sure to scout out where the hunt is for Invictus if they were going to try and chase him down as well. So, you know, he's closer than they may have expected.
Yeah.
But it won't be the decision to buy. Of course, you can see the rest of the money there on the side of Checkmate. Not exactly ideal, kind of hovering around that 2K mark. So a buy foreseen in the next round. Kulas has had a pretty decent game so far, so tries to go for an aggro peak, only for Unicorn to come out the better side of a duel. So an opener found by the coach, man on a stand-in.
Interesting.
Hastika has reached his long arms to retrieve that M4 and get himself away from the action as well.
It is very interesting, however, to see that they went for the flashbang that bounces off the apartment's door into like the apartment's alley. I don't even know what you call that. Instead of the Molotov, that's generally what the call is. Just interesting little adjustment. They do find 1 kill on Hastik. He gets a bit of extra money, so why not? You can be happy about that. Would have liked to have a bit more done. even so, Invictus Gaming up to 5-4 now. Probably should have been able to find the lead a little while earlier on, but Checkmate are now definitely struggling there. 4-man stack over towards A has very often been the correct decision to go for, but then when Flying comes out and kills you 3 times, things like this happen. That's where you need the individual skill to be able to back up and make sure you're winning out duels like that. You can't lose 3 1v1s consecutively. Not to mention it shouldn't be 3 1v1s, but even if it is, you shouldn't be losing those out.
One of the first times I think we see Invictus go for a fast B-side control, and they've already found a pick off the back of it. Techno rearing his head in from CT spawn has fallen so early. And I imagine Invictus is going to want to get this execute rolling as well before too many heavy rotations come in. We see that third man moving over for Checkmate. They are in place for this, but Rage has found another entry.
Somehow Coolest has responded, and the spam is good on Unicorn. He's been brought down very, very low. There's still plenty of flashes to be able to try and peek out from behind this smoke in towards, and they don't deploy a single one of them. Blitz pushes through the smoke. They've got flashes. Oh, that's a big mistake. You have to use the utility on the retake in those situations. Now, Coolest has also been dissuaded from continuing forward, has to back off to try and save. The T side are going to secure a round where, honestly, a good flash over there and Blitz gets too easy.
Yeah, I tried to beat the timing before, waiting too long for the retake. But yeah, it just looks a little bit strange in isolation, just running through when they have that utility to spare. But how many times now have we seen Rage really step up to the plate? Coming into this game, we maybe expected Viva to pop off in the same way we saw him yesterday. But Rage has been really compensating for this Invictus side. Flying as well over on that last map. He had that big round as well earlier in this map. And if they can continuously get these opening picks, I mean, Checkmate, it doesn't matter if you're playing with their full squad and Invictus are playing with the coach. They can play the numbers game from there on out. And even if you do find kills in return, you'll always be that one man down. As though Invictus haven't had their fumbling so far here on this T side. But Checkmate are just losing so much so quickly that it's almost impossible to react from between the two sites.
Much heavier emphasis over towards B this time from the CTs, and Checkmate at time and time again just not able to find these early kills. So Bartek's positioning is going to be crucial. Of course, he's also one of the 2 players with the rifle over here, so needs to step up with a multi. Wouldn't mind Blitz maybe playing slightly more aggressively behind him instead, but now they're pushing in through the smokes. Bartek's good for 1 so far, and they've been dissuaded from pushing forward for more. They've got 3 already. Viva coming in from the back lines, and okay. All right, apparently Techno's an interesting fellow, and Blitz has come through with 2 big ones as well. So 3 kills from Blitz right there. I'm not gonna lie, Michael, Techno's a good-looking dude. I don't mind looking out for him, but yeah, those are. Yeah, of course, anyone who's tuning in, we were having a couple of issues with the camera, so we had to switch out to auto director. It's just a bit of a bug going on right now in Counter-Strike where the interactive camera isn't really entirely working, so they're not able to get it done entirely the same way. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Yeah,
we had a few technical hiccups earlier, so
yeah.
While we would have had an observer, this is not him, so not that I need any excuse not to flame him. I would love to do that.
Of course, of course.
This ain't him.
Don't worry, Michael. We'll get our chances to flame Randall one day.
Yeah.
One day again.
Perhaps.
Right now, though, Checkmate's hoping to flame on over in mid. The brackets control going to be contested soon. He comes out, and from the back lines, there should have been a big one for Blitz, but he's been brought down before he can get anything. Suppressive fire, enabling 2 players to cross over into arches for free, and now Checkmate have no idea what's going on, but Bartek's able to find 1 before being traded away.
Yeah, it's now on to Coolest to hold on to this A bomb site, and he's done quite well. Smoke about to be deployed his direction, now plucking Unicorn out of the round. Still a 3-on-3, and the fact that the archers are compromised as heavily as they are is a worry now for Checkmate. They cannot move to reinforce either of these sites safely. You can see Invictus understand the position that they're in. They'll know that there's 2 players likely over towards that B bomb site. They held the bottom of B as well. So it has to be on Coolest. They know this is an isolated man.
I mean, at the same time, Michael, we have very much seen them give up a couple of these very crucial rounds in such situations. Coolest is in a position where he can find one quick one, but as he peeks out, he lands nothing initially, and he's just in the open for Destroyer to find and pluck out. The smoke is where things went wrong. Just couldn't really peek out from behind it with the same comfort that maybe a rifle would be afforded, and the scope weapon just not able to get it done. Now, Checkmate caught him in a rock and a hard place. Do they go for the retake or not?
Yeah, it's going to be not. 3 players can't buy into the next round. And so saving these weapons over can get them into a spot where they can cobble something together. There might be 1 player on the sorts of an MP9 or even a FAMAS. But Invictus do things quite rightly here. I mean, they take over a heavy rotate position, a crucial one for the CT side. They prevent them from getting aggressive over towards the B side of the map as well. And then from there on out, they can understand this is a solitary man they need to beat past. And that's why I put so much emphasis on Coolest. Like you said, the smoke deterring him out of the common pit position where he has the most amount of coverage and just kind of out in the open for Invictus to pluck him out and get that bomb down. Well, it's now 2 ults here from Checkmate. Good production from Coolest when things were getting a little hot on the A site.
Yeah. But he's definitely at his moments right now. Things are heating up over here on B. That's where Texas come up with one, makes it 2. It's sloppy, but that's how I like my sandwiches, and he's been sandwiched in and eaten right up. B bomb site's completely empty for them to take over. Viva, or Viva, don't worry guys, I made that mistake yesterday a few times over, but not today. Viva will ensure the accessibility of that. Now it is a 2v3, so Viva's gonna have to come up big and do quite a bit. They've got smokes at the very least to be able to refresh out 1 to Banana, but he's choosing not to deploy it so far. Rage instead holds it, sloppy on the spray. 1 HP, and he gets the second one, makes it look easy for the last 2. Why not, Rage? Why not?
Oh man, if this guy wasn't already on a heater and now he's come up with those 3 kills, yeah, he was down to 1 HP, but it doesn't really matter. That is a ridiculous round to have, and you could see Checkmate just so worried about how they're going to deploy their retake utility that they peek 1 by 1 sequentially. The second man didn't even have his gun out in time there on the side of Checkmate because Rage was continually pushing for that another angle in towards Banana, only for him to lock it down completely. Good nade in from Checkmate to deal with the Invictus B-side control, but right now, in terms of the fights that they're taking in the early round, Checkmate are coming out worse for wear in a fair few of these rounds. So,
and let's not forget, Michael, this is keeping in mind that IG are not playing with their full 5-man lineup. Anyone who's just tuning in, anyone who hasn't been updated by the 7 times we've said it so far in the past 12 minutes, Unicorn is, of course, a coach. He is standing in for Bottle, who is one of their most celebrated, one of their most sought-after players. And right now, you know, it's Rage who's doing it all. Comes up alive big again. 2 big frags over towards Banana. And in doing so, they might think that, hey, there's no one else. They see Bartek on the MP9, but are they going to be expecting anyone inside the bomb site? They're not even checking. Techno's come up massive. Bartek as well. Peeks out for 2 more. Unicorn. Now the coach has to step up. Question is, can he find anything in this situation? Even kills are big. Remember, Checkmate's money is looking a lot like mine. Terrible.
Oh. I thought you would have been able to get something done. Pull something together.
Sometimes you just have to be honest, Michael. Sometimes you just gotta be honest.
Well.
That's how Unicorn's being honest about his chances.
Yeah. An air of sadness maybe hitting the Invictus side because they had that numbers advantage only for it to be stripped away from them rather quickly. Best efforts of Rage have been put to waste. And yeah, Unicorn will save. They can, you know, obviously drop weapons over. Of course, they've been able to get a fair amount of rounds in a row.
Ooh,
That's
big,
a bit
actually.
of a risky duel towards the tail end, but Unicorn stands his ground.
That actually changes how much utility they will have. You know, not too insignificantly. They're forced to go for a double. I hate the head armor so much. Oh well.
Yeah, double MP9, but full head armor.
Yeah, on 5 players. Yeah.
I don't think it would have made too much of a difference in this particular buy, but it is.
The next round is where things can, you know, start to rack it up. Wait out though. Flying has got one early in. They were trying to go for the boost and not expecting the player to be up mid this early on. Rage is up to 20. I just noticed.
Yeah.
You know, kind of nuts. IG have had multiple different players pop off in every single map seemingly since yesterday. There's Viva, who was just godlike. Today, earlier on, we saw Flying on Dust too, and now Rage is I'm feeling the burn.
Yeah, they're passing the baton. It's like it's a relay race here for Invictus. All right, it's your turn. You better step up.
It's like they don't realize that they can also just run it all together. But hey,
yeah, potentially.
Hey, you know, you compete in what you want to. Destroy's been tagged up over in mid in the meanwhile. Rotations are coming through from CTs. Hastika's got to get some good spray going, but Coolest has 2 big frags. He won't be brought down until Hastika's given position, and Techno pushes straight through.
Oh
the
my
MP9!
goodness.
And Checkmate are up to 7 in a situation where it looked like IG might have cleaned up that first half, but we've got to go to a break and see if they can maintain that momentum come second. And we're back into things. It's Checkmate who managed to string together a few on the tail end of things, and now Invictus are hoping to hand the tail end of things right back to Checkmate. I'm Teed. I'm joined by Michael, Yumi, Cassidy. Checkmate are going to have to try and whittle out the pistol round quickly, make sure that IG can, lose out all the momentum that they've had on the back of Rage's fantastic individual performances.
Yeah, Checkmate have been doing a good job actually in these pistol rounds, especially their CT sides. They've gone for, pretty aggressive lines, but it's seemingly caught out Invictus every time. But here on the T side, playing things out nice and slowly, trying to work things out into the apartments. They've also got a player working up the banana position as well. Rage is looking to investigate. This has been that key man. Yastica not far around the corner, trying to line up a flash for the apartments drop, and I think they kind of realize what's going on, but at the same time, B players are on the rotation and now running right into the site. Blitz barreling in. Bartak cannot get the trade as Viva's just trying to buy time.
What a round from Viva already. He's been able to find 2 kills and force them back because they don't feel comfortable peeking behind the super box. And now rotation back to Arches. Hastica needed the frag and he can't find it. Bomb's going to be given a chance to turn the corner. Bartik will have the big bomb site, but he needs to fight and he knows it. Turns around into the corner. Flank's got him. Opens up his bombs and he drops right into them. Coolest. He's going to have to live up to his name. It's ice in the veins, and looks like they're all out. 25 seconds, and yeah, the CT's is double piecing into him. Flying shuts him down. He's got the Rockstar mode on again. It'll maybe less of a Rockstar, maybe more like we are about to go to war, and you will regret it.
Well, while I'd love to do an impression of Cortana, unfortunately, I don't think I have the range to quite go that high. That's actually a really great round as well from Invictus, just constantly reading into what Checkmate have to offer. But also, it's a bit strange because I think Coolest somehow walked, there was a smoke down in towards CT spawn over at B, and I think he walked through it to flank out Unicorn. It was weird. I was trying to keep track of what was going on the minimap, and I still don't really quite know what happened. Either way, Checkmate do think a little too hard into it. Coolest is like, oh, B's all clear. And then they get run down. That bomb couldn't escape. So it's a good start coming into the half here for Invictus. A chance now to capitalize. See if they can build a bit of a lead before Checkmate will have considerable buys coming into this.
Look, Michael, I'm with you.
Okay.
But I'm also really scared because they have 5 MP9s against 4 players with head armor.
Yeah, I didn't quite clock that, to be honest. I didn't expect that they'd go this far into it. And it's an overcommitment. Spam from Destroyer. I think he got 5 bullets out before Bartak says, no, stop that.
Shut up already. You've got an MP9. You can't spam the snow. What the hell do you think you are? And Nays in as well. Now, quick one is all that's going to be left on the A-bomb side. And Bartik's found it too. Michael. The worst has arrived, and Invictus Gaming are experiencing it. Viva and Unicorn, I'd like to say they're on inferior weaponry, but really when your entire team goes for it, is it really inferior? Really smack dab on average. Unicorn will at least find himself 1 quick kill. Money with it as well, but with a couple of flashes. MP9's now in the hands of the T's as well. This is not going to be easy. Viva peeking outwards, needs to adjust back, and his position is now scattered out. Knows he needs to get aggressive. Unicorn's being played around with, and Viva's down. Unicorn not too far off. Checkmate. Get themselves the 8 and 3 MP9s with it. Why not?
Yeah, that's way too much of a commitment to the SMGs. Usually, I even think 3 is a stretch. We've seen a few teams do that. But everybody on the side of Invictus with MP9s, when Checkmate go for the force buy, they have armor, head armor as well on top of it. And I'm not going to pretend like having a couple of rifles there, if they had stuck to the same setup, would have changed that much. Because I actually think it wouldn't have changed the outcome of the round if players are getting one tap through smokes.
Of course, but at the same time,
they play the round out completely differently if they have those rifles.
Yes, exactly.
They play different positions.
And prioritize more long-range duels where you can get a quick off angle, move back, have more rotation positions. With an MP9, you're basically relying on them to come close because you can't peek them Eagles either. Trades early on, and Techno's happy about it. Molotov straight down for flying, and now has to try and fight back. This is his first chance. Mid-edge where more bullets are going to go away, but at least one quick one in the fadeaway. We'll make it a 3v3. Bomb can be planted. He's still alive, but maybe not for too long. Techno circle around, flying. Somehow found the kill, and it's all become possible. Coolest is next to full. What the hell is going on?
How is Flying stayed alive for that long? 2 MP9s try and run him down at 38 HP, and he's still the same health. It was a 1D on the first, but then body shots follow it up, only for Unicorn to crunch them into the site. I don't know how to call these rounds. Not to mention as well that we're kind of detached from the action at times as well.
Michael,
After fumbling their second round, it's a force buy from Invictus that answer right back. So I'm glad someone's called a timeout here.
Listen, Michael, I know exactly what the call was from ING. You know what? We just aren't big brain enough to understand it. They lose out that second round, but they give a lot of MP9s over. And then the MP9s can't kill them. What's up now? Glaive who?
You said you understand them, but then you've also said they're too big brain for us to understand. So
Yeah, they're too big brain. Listen, Michael. Look, it's like all analysis. We get it afterwards. You know, we think back on it. We reflect on it. We think about the X-ray, the philosophy, where they're coming from, where they were born, what kind of upbringing did they have? Was their parent nice to them? Which one of their parents did they have a better relationship with? And that's how you truly understand someone, just not in the moment, Michael. Shout out to, hashtag Sigmund Freud, greatest Counter-Strike analyst of all time.
Let's hope these theories aren't confirmed because there's now an MP9 on Invictus' hands. What? Oh my god. I couldn't see him. I thought that looked like it was through smoke, but now Unicorn's trying to fire through smoke himself. Techno's already midway into CTs, but in one is not going to be quite good enough, especially if your teammate's getting plucked out without firing shots himself. Only it's a spam from Rage that brings things equal. 3-on-3, post plant now in full effect.
Okay, go on, Race is already through. That's a flashback. Race is on top. He's going to keep an eye on. Bartek's got one. Now Coolest is all alone. A one-on-one, and it's the MP9 in front of him. Is Freud going to be correct? No, not quite, Sigmund. Not today.
Oh, these rounds are not exactly very sanitary. I feel like I need to take a shower. This is... I'm not gonna lie, it has been strange. These rounds have been strange because it feels like there aren't these opportunities, and then suddenly Checkmate make a whole lot out of nothing.
Yeah.
And then
they make a lot of nothing out of a whole lot.
Yeah, it's like the team that seems to have the higher win percentage. You know, Valve came out with that update a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Like projected win percentage, which I'm not gonna pretend
not
is
very good.
Yeah, it's not the best. Better ones have since come out. Maybe piggybacking off of the tech, right? But it's almost like as soon as you find this heavy advantage, it's then gone. It's stripped from you.
You know the worst part about him not noticing Rage is, Michael? Because that's a vertical angle. You can't even
it's not even
4-3.
Unless he's playing like 9x9 or something.
Hey man, you gotta be ready for the Instagram, you know? The square aspect ratio.
Yeah, instead of playing stretched, it's like compressed. Yeah, I play 3x4, thin.
Like it's like the it's what they really mean by hit the DMs, you know? However, oh my. Listen, guys, I know Maui Snake put out that video explaining how it was okay for NAF to peek. This ain't it, guys. This ain't it. Even so, Checkmate are going to be given an opportunity.
Looks a bit odd.
A little bit. Just say caught on the corner of the staircases. They might not be expecting Unicorn in the back lines, and he pops out again. The MP9 that seemed to survive no matter what happened is finally down and dusted. IG solidifying their lead And Checkmate just can't seem to get it done.
Yeah, and getting some stable footing, albeit it's not without its scrappy mid-round. Invictus do leverage the fact they get those 2 early kills, then the retake over towards that B bomb site is a little bit easier, especially with Checkmate not getting into prime positions. Now coming into, I think, as close as buy versus buy whereas we're going to get, at least for the next 3 or 4 rounds. Coolest on Deagle, but a lot of damage being done. Unicorn has killed his teammate. No flash, doesn't seem to be the case, but aggro down mid, there's kills in from Destroyer. So in spite of finding that B-sided player, their backline was threatened, and now they have to reevaluate.
It is the cursed MP9, Michael. A curse be upon you.
Don't look a unicorn, a gift unicorn in the mouth.
God. Unicorn. At least he's got Rage on the other side, who has been pretty untouchable. Rage might be walking into Hastika soon, but he decides against it. I love this decision from Rage. Instead, prioritizes a significant degree of safety. Hastika might be given a 1v1 in mid if Unicorn continues forward, but you know what? He's already expended one of his derp moments.
Oh, he's been headshot. Dig down. 19 HP, and so Hastika has the upper hand. Now sneaking through the smoke, Unicorn making sure not to make a sound, but Hastika's aware that a flank is possible, trying to navigate around the apartments, and if he runs back to B, he can make it in time, but he's gonna have to move pretty quickly now.
It's gonna be okay. He'll
get it.
Yeah, he'll have it, and he's got a smoke as well. So you can just make sure he's smoking out CT. That one leaves a bit of a gap on the side. No, never mind. Okay, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. Flashbang also ready in case he wants it. Obviously, 1v1. You know, utility generally not the most advisable to be chucking out, and he's got plenty of time to reposition as well. Unicorn is very worried, and okay. A 1v2, a 1v3. Oh,
look at this wrapping play from Hastika.
Oh, no.
No way Unicorn's reading into this. A one-on-one when he's low HP like this. Hastika, the stone's on the man.
And the smoke's going to dissipate right as he's done so as well. So he just has to wait for the tap. Hastika's going to be looking out for CT. He's got it. Oh, Unicorn.
I don't think he has the time.
He doesn't have time. He doesn't have time. He can't possibly have time.
Oh, no.
So close in Unicorn. It comes from the most unlikely of peaks, but he's just managed to make it work, Michael. That's why he's the coach. My goodness.
He's one step ahead. All that experience, all the demo watching. That's actually so ridiculous, but I think it was a Chinese player that pulled it off, pulled something off like that in, I want to say at a DreamHack tournament as well.
Might have been a DreamHack Masters from a while back.
Yeah, so maybe we're thinking too much on it about how it's so unpredictable. There's no way he expects it, but said that for a little while about, you know, the T side wrap on Mirage if you're going for a post plant, and then that became fairly normalized. So maybe we were just behind all the times.
That was very next level the first few times it happened. For once, no early engagements coming out. Very passive round from Checkmate as they realize that Invictus have been using a lot of utility early in. Now, IG won't have utility, but so far utility has not been what's winning them these rounds out. Very much firepower-centric. And Checkmate are just winding down the clock, hoping that there will be a peak out soon. Destroys the one with the AWP this time over, and as he's moved back over towards Arches, he might be forced down. He's missed out the first shot, and he will find Coolest in the meanwhile. Flying's the one we've got an eye out on over. But right as we click around, Flying's going to be peeking soon. He's got himself one, makes it two, and Blitz and Hastika are the ones to respond. Bomb site is occupied and can be planted upon very easily. No utility on either side. This will come down to the gun duels immediately. Hastika waiting up for the first peak, doesn't realize that the man's already crossed over. It's Unicorn who'll be going forward soon. Viva goes down, and now the pit player is just waiting for Hastika to move on to it from there. Hastika repeatedly peeking outwards. Unicorn has to be careful not to be caught between a rock and a hard place. He's got the first one. Could it be the double curse? We're never gonna know.
Oh, such a good job there from Unicorn, constantly baiting out the fight as well, trying to make Checkmate nervous because they're trying to play off of each other's contact and maintain that crossfire for the 2-on-1. But being able to find the isolated duel there, bring it to a 1-on-1, it's a pretty good job all in all. Still going to be a Checkmate round, though. Very difficult retake to get underway, difficult clutch.
Can't believe it back to the dead body.
Yeah, you know, there's been... You know, it's not exactly like we haven't worked with Auto Director before.
No, obviously.
But this, you know, I think this one might take a slice of the cake, if not the whole thing.
It might be holding a grudge against us.
The machine's gained a bit of sentience and it's fighting back.
Rage is down and out.
And this is their best chance to try and leapfrog back into this game. It did come down to a 1-on-1 at the tail end of things, so it's not as though Checkmate's money has stabilized, but they have the more significant buy. And with Invictus force buying themselves, they can get themselves up to 11. There needs to be a clean round. I know I'm holding out for a lot. The second side has been anything but clean. With the pick over towards the B side and nobody there really as a fast correspondent, Checkmate could accelerate and find a very vacant bomb site. Smoke deployed. Gonna probe. Flying's been plucked out as well. That's your heavy hitter gone.
Not as heavy in this map, but he's had his moments, but yeah, not quite the Dust 2 performance for sure.
But I think finally, we will see a clean round. I'm willing to...
No, you have to say it. God, why don't you go ahead and say Macbeth as well in the meanwhile, Michael?
I'd be happy to be proven wrong.
Well...
User in your channel timed out.
Fortunately, this is not a Shakespearean play, Michael. We might be having a timeout called after this as well. You can hear the tick, 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 tick of chat away, but not to wait to see about that. In which case, might just be losing game feed for a second, guys. So chill out. All good. IG so far have done a pretty good job of actually putting themselves in the lead. Unfortunately, you're always going to have the CT side curse, which is that in these wars of attrition, it is only a banana peel that'll just put you out immediately. Stumble, you slip, and you're gone. Your back's broken. You've got a big old fine at the hospital waiting for you. You don't have insurance to cover it, and you don't live in a country where healthcare is free.
Yeah, you could kind of see it happening as time was going on because of how scrappy these fights were. At some point or another, there will be a breaking point where a team is going to get continual sort of back-to-back rounds, which Checkmate have been able to now accomplish with this clean slate coming into round number 24. Yeah, Invictus could very well let this lead slip. It's a spot where we're looking to get a little bit more comfortable, only for things to kind of reach a little bit of instability. If only they just won out a few more of these rounds convincingly. You know, they got into a couple, 4-on-2s, I think. And then suddenly that T side was able to answer back and make it a lot closer.
Yeah, IG's going to finally be giving potentially a free round away. Potentially. Naturally. Always. Potentially.
There's always that potential.
Yeah.
Never a dead round. Though, yeah, I mean, anybody that's really going to hedge their bets on anything. I mean, this is not the round to do it.
Probably not. I'll have to wait to see.
Seen scary stuff happen with USPs. Flying's in a pretty good position to make use of it as well. The silencer, a little bit harder to nail down the position.
He hasn't been he has been in this spot a few times before, but okay, all right, Micah. He's got himself one. Double trade comes out. Flying is now going to be brought down, and he's the only one to really get anything done there, Michael. 11 to 13. Once again, CT money still not where maybe we'd like it to be. You're not going to be able to have all the doohickeys and utility and Molotovs and all that good stuff.
I wonder now with them kind of approaching in behind from Invictus, whether we'll get a couple more of these aggro peaks. I feel like even with us kind of emphasizing coming into this game, Viva was popping off, hasn't really shown up the same way today, but with now the double ult from Invictus, I'd like to see him get that involvement.
Well, involvement was offered up, but the frag not quite achieved yet. He'll be forced back as well. A few flashes are enough to make that sure of that. Remember, they don't have any incendiaries, so actually forcing this D side to stop rushing you down is an impossibility, or rather a luxury unavailable to them. Now, rotation back to A might not be terrible if Unicorn wants to go for it, but he's one boosted up, so wouldn't be surprised to see Viva rotate, and the AWP is nowhere near as good on that particular role. But here they come to B.
User entered your channel.
They do be approaching this B-bomb site.
Oh no, that's where things get very deadly. Unicorn's unexpected. They're not checking for him. He's got himself the first kill. Through the smoke, some damage dealt. Flying, shilling away. He's having a cup of tea. And over in B, that's where the bomb's being planted.
Difficult spot for Viva to get anything really done as well with the utility that's down. The AWP rotating in as well from Destroyer. They may kind of count themselves out in this round. They don't exactly have the most amount of utility. No kits either here for Invictus, but just hoping that Checkmate gives something over. Give them that man advantage.
Of course, they could also be giving over a quick death to a couple of these AWPers, so you have to be very careful, but they still hard committing onto this. This could be everything, and it's already Hastika to fall down. Techno trying to move around the corner, gets himself the first, looks for two, and they've made them all fall apart. The CTs can't get anything done. Viva! 2 kills, which amount to nothing. Checkmate up to 12, and Invictus' money is down to as close to nil as they needed to be on the terrorist side.
Yeah, another half buy likely on the cards here for Invictus.
User entered your channel.
They were looking for that incentive, that one player that could swing things back into their favor, and instead they lose all of the weapons instead. It's why we've seen a lot of teams just kind of count themselves out in rounds where very often that was the response once upon a time, constantly just looking for these reasons to go for retakes. But with the game getting closer and closer, you could see the argument there for Invictus to make their stand, only for it to potentially have given up the idea of, you know, Checkmate getting to a tie game.
Bartek's going to be hoping to not lose out the AK over here. Oh, no. Yeah, there it goes. A little bit confused about who he's shooting down, and Flying's actually come through as well. Big kill to find an AK recovered, and that can be saved into the next one. Their money is always going to be a problem throughout the rest of this game, so wouldn't hate him for saving this, but now that there's already been a couple of kills on the B-bomb side as well, Flying would rather move in for this. He had a fantastic previous map. Maybe he can start to pick it up over here as well. Finds a first, and it's Flying to receive a quick headshot to be taken out. Checkmate, despite all the chaos, despite everything, their money's pretty stacked, so they don't really mind losing out all those players, especially when it gets Flying to also commit.
And by virtue of winning some rounds in a row here from Checkmate, pretty healthily as well in terms of the numbers that they've been able to bring forward, they have a little bit of an economic cushion to sit back on, while Invictus will continuously end up in this buying pattern of buy, save. And there's not too many more bumps in the pattern here for Invictus unless they're able to win a round. They do get the double ult out again, which is going to be a key point. We need to see that level of consistency from such heavy investments on the Invictus side, but right now it feels like Checkmate are making the right moves, and especially if they're finding entries like that. Blitz has blown open the A site. And Rage just trying desperately to hold on.
And where they've had so many problems, it's Blitz and Bardic who solve all of them. Not a single man being able to put up a fight on IG's side, and things are falling apart, Michael. IG, where they were providing such incredibly chaotic rounds where Checkmate couldn't get their defaults going, couldn't get their rehearsed takes going. Now, instead, they are capitulating. One by one, the dominoes fall, and Checkmate are the ones knocking them down. Viva, smoke's not going to protect you for too long, my friend. Especially if Bartek bumps into you inside of it. Oh, hold the point, Viva. Oh, there you go. All right.
I thought they leapfrogged over him. I thought the run boost sailed right past and he was just going to be able to breeze off into the sunset with all of them running through the smoke.
But the player underneath bumped into him, so...
I see.
He's covering every single verticality, you know, Michael? In case he suddenly learned how to fly. Like, what's he doing up there? What?
And I don't know about you, but I was kind of getting ready. Invictus have shown a pretty good standing here on the second map. I was prepared for us to move into a third, but Checkmate have answered back significantly, and now they're finding entries once again over towards B. There were 4 men at the start of this round here for Invictus, now brought down to 2. They're leaving Flying in charge of the A site, hoping to find a player just caught unaware here on Checkmate. Instead, they've just grouped themselves up, which could lead them to pounce at any moment.
Right, just waiting for the quick peek forward. Rage will be going outward. Black doesn't do much. Rage quickly finds himself in a position to be able to seal the deal, but unfortunately he's let it slip through. Negotiations don't quite work out, and he can't get a single frag in that spot where he's been stolid all game long. These past few rounds have been more than pulled off. We've been Flying and Destroyer now. Rounds aren't looking very likely to be able to pull out of this bag, and Invictus... Right, Michael, I was prepared to send us a 3, but Checkmate want to get it done quick. Bartek as well. And not a single player left to the CTs, and not a single player fallen on the terrorist side. Everyone starting to come alive on these entries now.
This is the final stand for Invictus. Again, going for the double AWP setup, which they've really not seen the results of yet. This has to be the turning point, because Checkmate seemed to have hit this new stride. Techno's maxed out on money. Gonna drop weapons over for Invictus. I'm sure they would have appreciated that. They've still got an MP9 on the board to try and keep themselves in this. Lest Invictus get eliminated from these qualifiers. Checkmate progress.
Beaver's got a fantastic up. Hey! What an entry! Just swings right into him, gets it quickly. Frantic can avoid it, and Unicorn's mid-air. Unicorn, stop prancing about. You're not a pony. You're a mystical creature. And now he's been sent into non-existence, never to spawn again. Invictus Gaming will have no more chances. Unless they can bring it all together, and Flying's departure from the world means the Destroyer is sure to follow. Spamming through the smoke, begging for a frag, begging for a chance. And Invictus Gaming will lose out 60-13. They are eliminated. They are not going to be able to make it to the Asian